What's going on, guys? It's Night Dog! And today, I'm bringing you the CP point system for the Elder Scrolls Online Flames of Ambition patch 2.0 champion point system for tanks, that is. So I'll be going over the champion point system on how to set up your tank from level 160 to 900, because that is what the level I am, is 900. So here we are going to dive into this champion point system on your tank. As you can see, I cleared everything up so that way we can go for it. As level 160, you should have about like 53 CP points, I believe. So we're going to start off actually in the green tree over here. So in the green tree here, you can see, if you haven't noticed already or haven't watched other videos, so you got a couple starting points that you can go with. You got Out of Sight, got Glided Fingers, and you got Breakfall, and then you got these points over here. As you can see, they're kind of different stars. If you see, this one's kind of like a small yellow one, and then these are like big white ones. The difference is this is a passive that you have active all the time. This one, however, is, as it says, add to champion bar to activate. So what that means is your green bar up here is you got to actually slot that passive in your green bar here. If you can see my white cursor kind of up in that corner there, basically means is you got to slot it. So me, typically I would like to slot as many of these things as I can right off the bat and try to get to things. So as this one that I'm on, this is our goal, is what we're going to try to want to hit, is Rationer, because this adds 10 minutes to the duration of any eating food or drink we have, and this will help you significantly up for a tank, or basically anybody. But for me, I find it really helpful on a tank because you don't have to spend so much gold or resources to make food now, because if you have other passives in the game like Gourmet or Connoisseur, that adds 20 minutes to the duration of any eating food or drink you have. Well, this will add 30 minutes to it, so basically all your stuff will now basically last 3 hours instead of the typical 2.5. So that's why I really want to get this along with another passive over here, a little good efficiency. But at level 160, you're not going to get there. So this is our goal. We're trying to get there. So I like to start with Breakfall, just because this one, Glided Finger, yes, you get gold gain, but the thing is you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps in order to get there. For me here, if I go here, I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I can save myself like 10 points to get there. So we got reduce our fall damage by 7%. And if you do the Imperial City prison fight, you fight the Lord Warden at the end. That one is you got to brace yourself when you fall. Well, when you brace yourself, you do take a good amount of damage yet, but this will actually help you not take as much, because now you got a 7% reduction to that fall damage on that. So now then we'll go over to the Wanderer here. As you can see, it reduces the cost of way shrines by 10% when you buy them. So I mean, some of you guys just probably jump from, you know, find somebody in your guild, jump to them and stuff like that, but for newer players out there that don't maybe have guilds, this kind of will help you if you want to travel to guilds, you know, those way shrines, and you actually will save cost on that. So then we're going to go over into then the Steadfast Enchantment, when weapon enchantments decay 20% slower, so you're going to save, you know, soul gems on this now for like reses and stuff like that, instead of spending so much on weapon enchantments. And I know some people that we get, you know, soul gems ridiculous in the game, and if you know how to store them up right, then we just kind of get them ridiculous. But this is more so just, like I said, we're trying to get to a certain point, so this is helping, and for those players starting out, it will definitely help save on money and cost on that for getting those soul gems. So then we finally hit to it, and the nice thing is we can spend 10 points here and get it. Now let's count up the points that we have. We have 10, 20, 35, and 45. So we have 5 points left if we're going just straight for 50. So now we got one of our slottables here, and since I'm on Xbox, you go to champion bar by hitting Y, and look at there, you have Rationer there. So what I would like to do is then we're going to put at least a point in here, so that way we unlock it. That's the nice thing about this. You can spend 1 point over in here to unlock these slottables. This one you have to spend 10, and then this one over here is 75 in order to unlock it. So we spend 1 point there. Now we're going to spend 1 point here just to get another slottable. And over here. So now we're currently at 48, 49, 50. So this one I like to get to at least 1% movement speed per type of thing. Now you don't have to listen to me on putting your slottables where you want to, because as I go through you'll realize that I actually end up maybe taking these off and doing some things. But I just think it's nice to kind of have some slottables going for you right off the bat, since you can't really spend 5 points anywheres. So like, you got 5 points that you gotta wait until later CP to use them. And I mean, if you kind of get, when you realize what I do for 300, you can start, I guess, working your way towards that, or just wait till you have hit 300 CP. Since now, during this one, we actually have an increased rate of how fast we go through things. So this is what I would do for the green tree on CP, CP 160. Now remember, you got to hit Y if you're on Xbox, go through your slottables, and when you assign, you actually have to click A to assign it, go over to the next bubble. If you see where my bubble on the top, by the top 0 over there, it's there. I actually got to go over, go down on my bar here, and select it to actually get them selected. Okay, now going over into the blue tree, this one's a little bit simpler. We're going to start here with the Tireless Discipline. We're going to put 10 points into that, make sure it goes. Now it goes to this one. This is the one that is going to be one of our most important things as a tank here. So we want to make sure to get quick recovery. So quick recovery there, get a 10% there. There's other things here that we'll get, but as of right now for CP 160, we're not going to be able to get them quite yet, because we want to get some, like I said, I like to get slottable passives. However, you can't go with this to get hardy. This is to reduce the martial attacks by 1% per stage. So this is reduce the damage you take from physical, poison, disease, and bleed damage. This one over here is the magical base of stuff, so this reduces damage taken from magic, flame, frost, and shock damage. The other one we'll want to get to later on is preparation. This reduces your damage taken from non-player attacks by 2%. Since I am mostly looking at this as a PVE aspect, you're not being attacked by players, you're being attacked by non-players. So this is definitely going to help with your tank abilities. So we got 10 points there. So we've spent 20. Now, like I said, I like slottables, and we're only going to be able to get 3 of them because we spent 10, 10. And I like to do these ones because these ones are based off of area effect attacks you got there. You have this one damage over time, and this one you have single target attacks. Now, the nice thing about Endurance, Resolve here, and Unassignable is that both of these actually stack together, because most of the time your area of effects are damage over time. So these will end up stacking, so you get points in here. We got 2% reduction here, and now we have another 2. So we technically have 4% damage reduction because most of our area of effects are damage over time. And this is straight up, right attacks you. So there you go. Now you got your 3 basic slottables that you have with other slottables that you can go into later. For us, we're probably end up going to go into bulk work just to increase our physical and spell resistance by a good chunk. I mean, there are others down here that you can actually look at and go for, but typically what I like to do is I like to get bulk work. So there's our CP 160 for the blue tree. Now over into the red tree. This one we'll want to actually make sure we get some points over here, because these are slottables. Like I said, I prefer slottables, so this is why I'm going to do it this way. Now, what do we want to do? Yes, we got tumbling over here, but a really good thing we actually want to get is Tyler's Guardian. I know some of you are like, well, I don't want to reduce block, the cost of block. I already have a lot of that on my guy. I get that, but the thing that we are actually looking for is actually this fortification here. This is going to help with damage block mitigation. So as you're blocking, you're going to reduce the damage you actually take, which is going to actually help you survive a lot easier. If we actually will look at when I'm totally complete how much block mitigation my tank actually has, which some of you will actually be surprised for being a Templar tank. Now that we got 10, 25 is spent there. We got 3 up there, so we're at 28. So now the next thing is the one slottable that I'm actually looking for is, surprisingly enough, I'm actually looking for Spirit Mastery. There's several other ones that you can do, like if you're using a Dragon Knight, I'd probably say use Bastion, because this one is definitely for your damage shields, to increase your effectiveness of damage shields. I mean, if you really don't care for damage shields and not a damage shield, there is Expert Evasion if you tend to roll dodge a lot, just to have that free roll dodge. Or there's even Slippery here to automatically break free, you know, of disabling effects that you have to use to break out of if you really want to go that route. But like I said, I'm going for the Spirit Mastery, so this is a way I would go for Spirit Mastery. So we got Tumbling. So we spent already 28 points. We got 15 here, so now the 15 plus 15 is 30, so we're at 40, 43. Then we got another 10 here. So technically we're at 53, so you should hopefully be at that 53 CP right about here. Because we got 10, 20, and then you got 30 to 50, and then you got at least one here, and one here. So this is what my setup would look like for CP 160. Now, CP 300. So now we've gained now an additional 50? Yeah, I believe so. Yes, we should have a total of 100, so we should be now at 50 more CP. So now what would I do with 50 CP? Well, I can't necessarily go into this. I mean, I could walk towards it, but if I want another slottable to switch out with, what I would actually do then is go straight into this treasure hunter here, because we want to increase the item quality of items that we find in treasure chests, just because for like crafting purposes and stuff like that, or even gold gain, we're going to get a little bit more gold from like purple quality items compared to like blue or green. So then this is where I put my 50 points into. So that does it for the green tree for level 300. Not much really has changed, just because we're going to save up points at burst. Yes, if you want to, like I said, if we can just slowly put 50 points into here and not really affect anything in our CP, or we can now get a different slottable here and drop one of our other slottables over here and get more points. So we're going to reduce the cost of sneak. Now over into the blue tree here, since we now got 50 points now to spend, what I would probably end up doing, I mean, we got options. If we want to, we can add more Magicka and then get our Blessed here, just increase our healing done if you feel like you need to get more tankier for, or more powerful self-heals. Other than that, let's just go dive into here, and we're going to put 50 points into here, or 10 points there, 10 points there for more damage reductions. And then finally, over to here, because we spent now 30, this will be 40, and 50. So this is how my tree, this is what I would do for 50 points. Yes, we could have spent all 50 points and get ourselves more spell and physical resistance while having a shield or frost staff to quit, but I figured this was kind of the better bang for our buck, just to get a lot more resistance, and on top of it, start getting our healing done per stage. So blue tree for CP 300. Now over into the red tree. Now since we got now another 50 here, what I would end up doing is then we're going to go up to here. We're going to end up putting 10 points into this guy for survival instincts to reduce, you know, so we can actually have a combat skills cost 5% less per stage when we're actually under a status effect. So that way we, you know, save resources and stuff as a tank, because resource management is very important on a tank, and we really want that. Like I said, I'm kind of working my way up to here. So then we have 25 points to spend into here for Tempering Soul. So if we do die, because it happens as a tank, you end up dying. So with this, we'll actually return to life after resurrection with 5% more resource per stage. So by having this, is we could actually, if we actually get this all the way up, is we could actually have basically all of our resources basically full by the time we get res. I mean, we're not going to really see it. I can show you how much more you'd actually get. You know, we'd be at 25%. But right now, we don't have that many points since we're only CP 300, so here we are. Now we spent a total of now already 35 points, so now we only got an additional 15 points for 50. I mean, we could, like I said, we can work on this a little bit, or we could put it in other points. In other points, what I would probably end up doing is then end up putting this to 10. So we spent 9 points there, dropped this one. So now we're from 15. We went up 9, so we're back at 6, or we could go an even amount since we dropped a point there to make it 16, so it'd be 17. 7 points there, so it'd be 19 and 19. Or 9 and 9. So that way we get our recovery up, because for me, armor at a certain point doesn't really becomes irrelevant to some people, so they really might not want ironclad. I can understand if you still want ironclad. If you do, then just kind of even out your stats there, but typically I'm not really much for ironclad, or I don't really need the armor, because how I figured it out, I didn't need the armor. But some people want armor, so you go with the way that you feel more comfortable. Now, like I said, if you're going this way around because you want to break free, then you're going to end up putting points here, 10 points there, and then you could probably get this up to 40 points out of 50. Or you could just spend all 50 down here and have your expert evasion. I'd still, if it was me personally, I'd still work to get up to this point too, because this is a very strong slottable as well. So there you go for CP 300. Now over in the green tree, now we're at CP 600, so now we've just gained now an additional 100 points to spend. Since we gain 100 points to spend, we're going to go all the way over here to spend 75 points. And we got now spent. Now we're now only have 15 points left to spend, and where I would spend my 15 points is I would actually drop 3 points from there, because we don't really need movement speed. And now this is kind of where your flavor kind of kicks in if you want to do like a slottable here or slottable here, because this one's only 15 points, so we can spend 15 points here for our total of 100 and get this passive here for Master Gatherer for harvesting stuff. But for me, I'm not really much of a Master Harvester, since this is kind of like my crafter. Yes, this would help for gathering stuff, but I actually really want to actually improve the chances of extracting higher ingredients allowed and refining more powerful rains and tempests and tanning and platings from raw materials, just because, like I said, this is my crafter, so this is the way I would go. So with 15 points left, let's put 10 points into here just to get the either treasure box. If you don't want treasure box, we can then just go straight into Blighted Fingers just to get more gold gain, which is a really nice thing to have. So this is what I would do for CP 600 in my green tree. Would look something like this. Yes, I didn't spend the 15 because I don't have enough for that, so we're sitting a little bit below that on this tree. Now over into the red or blue tree, I should say. And CP 600, we got 100 again. So where would I spend the points? Well, we could spend 50 into this guy to finally get our last guy here. Now we got 50 points left. Now what I would do is basically what I did last time. We want to put more points in there. So we spent now 60. This is 70. This is 80. This is 90. And me personally, I would then go into this because Bless is very healing done is going to keep you alive. Yes, those other things in here are going to keep you alive too by keeping your resistance up, but kind of slowly level them up together is kind of what I want to do. Okay, now over into the red tree again. So now we finally got our 100, so now let's get our res speed up. There, our res speed is up the way we like it, so we spent 50 points there. Now where else would I go? Well, I would like to then get Savage Defense just to reduce the cost of bash, because when you interrupt somebody, you're going to bash, so you want to reduce the cost of you actually pulling that bash, so we're going to end up putting 15 points in there. So now we got a couple more points to go. So now I would actually end up going over and to reduce the cost of breaking free, because that is a very important thing, because sometimes you do get crowd control and you need to break out of it. So this is where I'm going to put 10 points. So now we've spent now a total of 50, 60, 75 points, so we got 15 points left. where to spend our last 15 points. We could put it on tumbling. We could put it on fortification just to reduce the, increase the amount of damage we can block by 2%. But where I actually want to go for is let's split 15 again. And we got 7 and 8. So we're at 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to put more points into this one just because recovery is a very important thing to have. And this is kind of what I would set up my red tree if this was personally me. I guess, again, if you're going a different way, go ahead and do the way that you feel that you guys want to do. But for me, I actually like the res speed on a Templar just based on the fact of Templars already kind of have that built-in type of thing. For one of their passives is they've already reduced the res time by 20%. Well, now if you add this, now you're actually reducing the res time by 53%, which is ridiculous. I've streamed a couple other videos of me actually taking that Templar tank doing it, and it is. Some guys were just like, I mean, I'm changing it from like basically like a 2-3 second res to basically almost like a second res. It's ridiculous, and we can actually do that further if we wear like a certain other set, but it's not meant for a tank to be running that set, so we're not going to be running it on a tank, maybe on a healer in the future. We can do that. So this is the way I would set up my tank, especially a Templar tank. This is what I would set up. Instead of 50 here, I'd put 50 here if I was doing a Dragon Knight tank or somebody who's doing a ton of damage shields. Now the last and good part is now we're going with CP 900. So with CP 900, we now got another additional 100 points to spend. Now, how would I spend those 100 points? Is basically for those 100 points is, like I said, I'm more of this guy, so I'm going to end up putting my 50 points here. So now we only got 50 left. Well, another good thing to really have is, for me, is Soul Reservoir. Just because is whenever a wreck is wrecked, somebody have a 33% chance not to consume a soul gem, so I can save on the soul gems. Yes, I know we're saving on soul gems here, but when you have a full soul gem and you don't need them and sell them, if you sell a stack of 200 just to any merchant, that's 6k you can get from it. But if you sell it to other things, you can get more for it, so I just figured 6k buck, you're getting them pretty fast. You keep selling them, you're going to make some money pretty quick by doing it that way as well. So we're going to put 33 points in here. Now, since we got 33 points into here plus the 50, we're now sitting, we've spent now 83 points. Now, where to put the other ones? Well, we can put some points into here. We want to finish out and get this guy, since we're now sitting at 93. And then we could put points into here if we really want to, or we could put more points into this, whatever we're kind of more desired. Or we can put more into Rationer, is what we'll probably end up doing. So basically we'll want to try to get this guy up as much as we possibly can, because that's what our main goal in the end game was. So, I mean, if you don't want the gold and want more food duration, this is the way I want to go. Okay, now over into the blue tree. We've got 100 points yet to spend again. Where to put them again? So, what we'll end up doing is putting we put 20 points there. 20 points there. 20 points there. So we now spent 20, 40, 60, another 20 points here. 80, and our last 20 that I like to spend is over into this 100. Simple there. So we want to make sure that's blessed there. We put 40 in all those points there. Everything, life is good right here. Now over into the red tree again, we got 100 points. So what we want to do is make sure to buff these guys all the way up. 50 and 50. So we were sitting both at like 15 apiece. So from 15 to that, we spent about 30 some odd points, so now we got some extra points left over. So where to go? Well, we can start here by buffing up some of these things, and we want to go Defiance and Mystic Tenacity, even Survival Instinct, since those are all at 10 while the other ones are sitting at 15, or if we want to, again, like I said, go to Fortification. So I'm going to put 15 here, 10 here, and just for that, put 10 there. Roughly an average about somewhere in there is where I'd roughly put my points for CP 900 in the red tree. As you can see, what kind of all changed, nothing really too much has changed from where I had things slotted and going. So yes, this is kind of where my current state of where I have everything set on my level 900 character. Yes, maybe a little bit more because I'm like level 943, so I got a couple more points to spend. But like I said, everything's kind of sitting where it was. Over this one, I actually did get 30 points into here because I got a little bit more different points and did a little bit different of distributing. Because again, if I got this guy, I did have some points into here that was left over that I actually could take off and put into here. But yes, this is where I have my Templar tank set up. Again, you don't need this slottable passive. I just like it because this is my crafter. You can put it wherever you feel like putting it. If your guy's a thief, put it more into friendly little places so that way you remove 1,000 gold from your bounty once per day when you commit a high crime. So yeah, that will be it for my CP 2.0 tank setup from level 160 to level 900. Thank you all for watching. If you guys would, please take a moment of your time, help support my channel by subscribing to the thing, smash that notification bell so that way you guys can stay up to date with anything I may drop on YouTube here. You can then go over to Twitch and follow me there. I do stream that regularly on a daily basis, usually at 6 p.m. Central Time during the work week. Weekends, it's kind of varied during the weekend if I do have time or if I'm busy or not. Also, if you want to ask me anything, you guys can leave them down in the comment section below, or you can message me over on Twitter. So is there. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.